and Caleb Isaacs is with me. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Chris.
Nice to speak with you. Why do you want to become the coastal councillor for Christchurch when it looks like you've got quite a decent career as a musician?
Well, that's very kind of you to say, thank you. Look, for a long time, I've defended my home of New Brighton and the east and the coastal suburbs to people and made excuses for why some things are not quite as good as they probably should be, and why other things are a little bit naff, I guess. But look, this is an opportunity, I think, and a special moment in time, because I'm tired of making excuses and I'm done with that. I'm sick of defending the East. I'm ready to take some action. And looking at the field, I mean, there's some very talented, there's some very earnest and genuine people standing there, but I think we need to have something completely fresh in here. Like, what we've been doing for the past 10 years is clearly not working very well, is it? And I think I'm coming in with completely fresh ideas. Look, I don't come from the same background of these various community groups who do amazing work, but I'm coming in as a small business owner. I'm a connector. I'm used to making things happen off my own bat, and I think that's the kind of energy that we need in council to really help the East and to help New Brighton and South Shore and North Beach and all the coastal suburbs to really come up to the next level.
As a small business owner, let's know more about you. What do you own and what's your business?
Yeah, cool. So my current, I'm fairly entrepreneurial. I've done a few little things over the years, but my current project is I own a business called Rattle and Strum. It's an entertainment and live music company. We supply really awesome entertainment to weddings and corporate functions and music for events and sound and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of work putting on events, which is what I really love, bringing lots of people together and doing something cool and exciting and fun. So that's my main day job. And I just wanted to point out that now, if I'm lucky enough to be elected and sent to council by the people of Coastal, I would carry on running my business. I would definitely step back from the operations substantially, because it is a job, right? But I think it's really important that the people on council have like an actual real foot in the real world, because we're spending so much of ratepayers' money it's very hard to earn money and to accumulate wealth, Chris, I'm sure you're aware. And I think it's important to have like one foot firmly planted in the real world. So I will continue doing my work with Rattle and Strum. But I think that I can step back from that from an operations level, and I can still have most of my time as a councillor.
As a resident of Christchurch, what do you believe is the one biggest issue facing residents?
Of the city, or broadly?
Of the city, broadly speaking. Look,
I think one of the biggest issues here, look, we've had 10 years of rebuilding our city after the unprecedented earthquakes and the destruction and the horribleness of that, but we're at an important junction in time, I think, where, look, we've rebuilt the heart of our city, but we still need a city with a heart, okay? Look, you and I have both been fortunate enough to travel overseas, and I think the thing that makes really cities come to life overseas and in other places around the world, and even in New Zealand, is not the humongous anchor projects and precincts and stuff, although these are important, right? But it's all the little bits in between. It's all the alleyways and the little bars and the fun little markets and all the liveliness around the city. That's really the tapestry of what makes a city great. And I think we've got a real challenge here, that we've rebuilt the framework of a city, but I think we need to make sure that we're actually creating an environment where small businesses can come and thrive. The rents in the CBD in Christchurch are insane. There's no way that you can start a small business there if you don't have incredible support behind you. I don't think this is the kind of city we want to live in. So these are the things this is the major challenge, I think, facing Christchurch over the next 20 years. And if we don't get it right, this is going to be a good looking and very shiny city, but it will be a very boring city.
You make an interesting point, because one of the concerns I have looking at the convention centre, although of course everybody says how wonderful it's going to be, but there's no shops, there's no small retails, there's no little hotels, there's nothing around it. It looks like a big concrete jungle. And that to me is surprising, because I thought it was going to have more of a community vibe, but at the moment it's a big blob in the middle of the city. Is that the kind of concerns that you have?
Absolutely, and I think I presume that the current thinking is a build it, they will come mentality. But I want to see the evidence. I want to see what the planning is to actually encourage and support like small operators to come and bring vitality and like the reality of actually Christchurch in New Zealand. We don't want people to just be going into the town to shop at big chain stores and go to the same old big boozers and that kind of thing. We want to really have a city that's full of life and is vibrant, has a diverse range of options and ideas for people. And I think I'm not seeing that at the moment broadly. Like there's pockets of that in the city, but I'm not seeing that as a theme, and I think that's a real concern.
Looking back, obviously, no doubt you've taken a bit of an interest in local body politics. What do you think the council could have done better, and what would you try to do better than the current lot?
Look, I know there's just this massive disconnect between what happens in that building down there and what happens in the community. And I think, and I understand that with a large organisation, it's a slow moving, it's not very agile, and there's plenty of moving parts. But I think the role of councillors is primarily to be as governance and advocation. And I think, look, there should be a clear line of sight from a community to power. I think that democracies work best when you can see the power and you can sort of touch it and engage with it. And I think some of our councillors do a fantastic job of being available to the community, to listening to what normal, real world people actually like think about stuff, and being able to facilitate that in the decision making. But I don't broadly see that in our city at the moment, where we have any access. Like I talk to people, colleagues and friends I know, who can't even name can't even name the councillor for the award. And I think that's a real failing for the current, governments. And I think it's about communication and relationships and and leadership. These things are sorely lacking in Christchurch at the moment, Chris.
And that's why I think it's really important to have the likes of yourself on this platform to actually say who you are and what you stand for. Now, my final question, and it's the question I'm asking all potential councillors or candidates, is in 30 seconds or less, why should the good people of the Coastal Ward vote for you? Go for it.
Thanks, Chris. Look, we've been slowly plodding along as a suburb, trying to make progress and make this one of the most livable coastal towns in the country, right? We can't just keep going on about how it was great in the 80s. We need to talk about how it's going to be great tomorrow and for our children. Now, there's been some fine people that have done some great work in our suburbs over the years, but it's time, I think, for something completely new, for some fresh energy. Look, I don't have any party allegiances. I don't have any baggage. I'm not doing this job just for a paycheck. I'm here because I love my town, I love my home, I love this part of the city, and I think that someone with my skills can really make a difference and sort of drive some real change and progress to make this the most incredible coastal town in New Zealand.
Nicely said. Appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you very much for having me, Chris. Take care.